ready?
I'm sorry.
That's Booby.
And Colby and Chip and Ghosty.
Omnerod. Nothing was vain.
This is the big homie.
By the big homie, I think his name is Romaine Juno. Or Jenny O.
He's in this band.
We've got a $75 partner tier if you want to get your local band some attention. That's why we call it the partner tier. So you can, we can partner with your band or whatever band to get them notified.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from the band Omnerod.
Yeah, he said that they're a Belgian progressive metal band. And he's in there. He didn't tell me what he does in it though.
I know.
But he's in here.
He's
somewhere.
probably the vocalist.
Probably.
Huh? Well, he's got a pretty distinct name, so I'm going to do some Googling and figure out who he is. But, you know, most of the guys who are the masterminds, they're very, very humble people. He's obviously the mastermind of the band. But anyway, here we go. I'm very excited. For timely topical political commentary, you can hit us up with Middle America's Vin and Sori.
Don't forget, if you're on Patreon, check it out because we've been adding videos there so you can see us behind the scenes and such.
Also, if you want your day in the sun, we've got we've seen a couple of you bought your, a bunch of you have actually brought your Sori Series Secrets shirts. So send us an email with you in the shirt and we'll put you on in the video.
Yeah, if you look in the description of this video, you'll find our gear, you'll find our addresses. As a matter of fact, I'm going to add our email address onto that because I think that would be helpful for people since you just said for them to email us.
Sure. All right. So I'm pretty excited to actually see this band. Progressive metal. That's their progressive band, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Progressive metal, yep. Ready?
Very good. Okay. Let's do it.
And go.
Our band needed a tour with Magwan Batushka, and these guys need a tour with Niabla.
Yes.
I gotta reach it.
Yes.
I gotta find the Zen Master. What the?
Wow.
That last little riff, that had like the attitude of.
Yes, and then when it went silent, and then it was like I feel like we get sucked into a black hole and then let back out.
Well, yeah, that's the thing with progressive metal is like.
Oh my word!
It kind of lulls you to sleep for a second with all the instrumentation.
And that.
Hold on, y'all. The review is coming shortly.
Yeah.
We're all blurry. See, it's all. Yeah, it's back. It's like, all right, you know.
It's right there.
Yeah, that little break right there. It's like, it's all right. It's all right.
Yes.
If I was at a show,
that's what I was thinking.
That is like blast off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Especially because we know where the break comes in. It's like, This guy. Okay, so I found him.
Yeah. So who is he?
He is the guitar / backing vocals. At least on the they had a record called Ivory Dune in 2014. Go check that out. And then we've got another record that was released this year from the Arteries, and in there he's just vocals and guitars. I don't know if he's background or what, but he's definitely responsible for the freaking ridiculous riffage we saw at the. Whoo!
I love the beginning too. Like
that was a Dimebag Darrell level riff at the end.
And that's
Dime has that attitude when he plays.
Yeah.
Like I felt like.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's a very
It's got attitude,
it
man.
does.
Like, that riff
it
is like,
carries with it
I'm
a lot
a
of
bad
attitude. Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, you all back the hell
Back the fuck up. You don't want none of this smoke. You don't want none of this smoke.
No, this is wow.
God almighty. Our Belgic friends have no fucking idea what smoke is, but basically, it just basically means
you don't want
any problems because you just feel like a badass.
Yeah.
Oh,
like, what?
I really like this song.
There was so much here.
There was.
First of all, did you like those vocals?
I would have killed for one more stanza. One more stanza would have.
Yeah, and I am not usually a long song person. Like.
Right.
I'm like.
Yeah, it's very hard to convert you to liking long form.
Yeah, I'm
songs.
like seriously.
But.
No, I enjoyed this one start to finish. I enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I may. One more thingamajiggy of
yeah, I could have definitely gone for some more lyrics.
One more stanza, but.
And I would have wanted the lyrics at the beginning when he was singing. Okay, I guess it was fine. I just wanted to hear him a little bit more in the vocals, so I don't know if they need to be tweaked up a little bit, or if it was just
again,
you know me, I'm a vocal person.
Just a little bit.
Was it a little low?
A little bit low.
Yeah, I thought so.
But man, such a good song. What did you think the song was about?
I mean, I don't know what. At the end, it sounded like it was talking about Jesus on the cross.
Really? Where'd you see that?
Well, just because it was saying a mother's pain is never in vain, like thinking about like Mary and stuff like that, and then it said blank scavengers faking their prayers step into the light, breaking silence with their sheer defiance, all to claim their rights. It sounded like some satanic thing around the cross.
I don't know if it's his older brother, or maybe a grandfather, or so to me it's an assisted suicide situation.
Gah.
Especially considering he's from Belgium, which I'm not sure that that's completely illegal in Belgium, and that the mom was there till the end for her son, but then there were religious people that were doing last rites and stuff like that, and they weren't really emotionally invested in the moment, but the mom was. That's what I got from the song. Blank scavengers faking their prayers.
Oh my god.
And then feast on the dust, feast on the paper, you were never there, all pathetic, all apathetic. all but one,
the mother.
which is the mom. A mother's tears are never in vain. And he says, forgive their hypocrisy and greed, and then please forgive my relief, because I think it's a assisted suicide situation. He's asking God to forgive him for that last moment. And
wow. When it says feast on the dust, feast on the paper, do you think that the paper is like his will?
I think you have to pay for a mass.
Which is why they're saying the greed. Forgive their hypocrisy.
Yeah, that could be it. It could be like family members that are just jumping on it right after he's dead, you know? Yeah. And, you know, religious family members who really don't care about the guy, basically want him to die, but they want his inheritance afterward, you know? But it seems like the mom was there. And because it says passing the torch, giving back what was once offered, sentience.
Yep.
Like, so he's giving back his awareness back to God, which it's interesting. Jordan Peterson was talking about dying as a sacrifice of Christ. He said the hero sacrifices his consciousness. And I was like, whoa, that's a crazy way to talk about dying, sacrificing your consciousness.
Yeah.
Because that's really, you know.
Yes, I remember you telling me that.
So I just thought that was brilliant. So he's passing the torch. So this is probably an older person, you know, and he's passing it to the younger generation. He's basically saying my time's over. Grandeur may fade, but dignity will live on through love. And again, it's death with dignity is kind of the thing. So he got to go out on his own terms, basically. This time around, no soul will escape alone, she swore. And that's the mother determining that she's not going to let her son die by himself.
Yeah.
You know, no soul will escape alone. And then he responds, should I lay there, please, just end it, waste me. So, you know, it seems like an assisted suicide situation where the guy is making a decision to die, and then you've got all these people that are there to just basically collect after, but she was true.
Yeah.
She was the real one. It's kind of pretty close to Maynard's situation a little bit when, you know, Wings for Marie was talking about his mom, and she, you know, she was genuine, but the rest of the church people were just,
yeah,
you know, so.
What do you think? One's too young to understand, now too old to give a hand.
Probably what the guy was going through. Like, you know, it was too young. At the time, you were, as a kid, you didn't really understand what was going on. And now, he's at the end of his life, so you're basically too old to help. He's beyond help now. But when you were younger, you could have helped, but you didn't understand what was really going on, which is good to some degree. It's a role of a child, you know, not to have to worry about that, you know. All the time you spent away from me, from your own. And he doesn't say son. Maybe that was his dad that died, you know, and his grandma was there for him. And then it's once too young to understand, now he's too old to give a hand. Like, it's nothing you can do. He's at the end now.
Oh, so. You mean whatever situation that led him to that point, the son was once too young to understand what his father was going through.
Right.
And now
by the time he realizes
the father's too old to even be able to lend a hand to him because it's too late now anyway.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you're right. I think you're right about I had in my head the last rites that the priest gives as you're about to die. But when it says blank scavengers, a scavenger is somebody is a bird that, you know, goes after a dead body.
Yeah.
Which fits very nicely with what you're talking about, them feasting on him because, you know. Brutal.
I knew somebody that it was two sisters, and one of them was in the hospital, basically almost dead. The other sister was already rummaging through her closet.
Man, when my mom died, Junior, my older brother, you know, he did the heavy lifting because he had to go claim her body from Hawaii. You know, none of them could speak at the funeral, so I got up and that was my part to play. But I cannot imagine doing that. And you know, it's we just got done our Bible bash, so it's like about not judging people, you know. And so it's like,
well, yeah,
it's a weird. But I thought this guy is extremely mature.
There's two ways that people can.
Because he says, "Forgive their hypocrisy."
And greed.
You know. So, and then it says, "Forgive my relief." That's interesting.
Because whoever this person was, they were probably a very big burden, medically speaking, and it does take a lot out of you. I know somebody right now that has been caring for their husband for, it's been 10 years. Whoops, it's been at least 10 years. And it is high level care. And she's very tired. She doesn't want her husband to die, but at the same time, she's very tired. And so I think that there's going to be a sense of...
There's so many different conflicts. Like, if you see, my mother struggled with mental illness, and that's eventually what killed her. But it's one of those things where you're like, you're relieved that she doesn't have to go through it. Because I saw her, and it's a brutal thing, and caring for somebody that's at like hospice level care, and it's when you think about just general human weakness, when Jesus said the spirit is willing, the flesh is weak, like when you're caring for somebody in that predicament, it's like you love them and you would do it for 1 trillion years if it would keep them for an extra day. At the same time, you have your own human weakness to it's hard in the grieving process, and you have to contend with that, and it's, and at the same time you also relief that you're no longer seeing your loved one suffering, and then it's like, well, is that a good feeling, to feel that way, to be relieved that they're, well, it's just anytime somebody dies, it's like we know the appropriate emotion is like sadness. That's the only universal, emotion that we connect to death. But relief is also a part of it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it gets talked about a lot. Right. And it's important to talk about. Doesn't mean you don't love the person and never did love. And if you're the person being taken care of, like, it doesn't mean that you're a horrible burden to your family. It means that they feel like you feel. And some days it's just very, very hard. But you're obviously extremely valuable to your family, and they wouldn't have it any other way. But these are all, like, massively honest emotions. Good God. Right. Wow. So sonically, this was great. Vocally, these guys are talented as hell. Yeah. They did a couple, like 3 or 4 different vocal styles. And I just thought, man, and the production level, like I don't want to diss any of the bands that we saw, but like there was a moment in the show that we went to last week, and I said, "Sori, look," and like the guy was just staying on top of the fretboard for like 2 minutes of the song, and I'm like, God. This is why I'm telling you, we cannot play this song. You know what I'm saying? Like, guitar-wise. No. Like this is not like a, and again, no disrespect to any of the bands that we saw. It's just, they're different styles, and progressive is about, you've kind of mastered the instrument. Yeah, there was such unique parts in it. Yeah, try to do different progressions and see what happens. And it wasn't just a bunch of jumbled. No. Because sometimes. Very enjoyable. Sometimes progressive bands are like extremely pretentious. They should call it pretentious instead of progressive. But this band, and that's part of the reason I love that end riff, because that was a very raw, metal riff, and it wasn't like, we're going to be too artsy to, but like it was like grimy, Dimebag Darrell, like that's one of that I'm telling you, this is my favorite riff of 2019. It's my favorite riff of 2019. That little section right there. I don't know how you can keep them all straight. That was crazy. I'm like, I like it. The Sepultura song was the heaviest song I've heard all year. But this... Give me a riff heavier than that in 2019. You won't find it. When did this come out? 2019. May 30th. May 30th. Hey, I can't deal with this boy. Ryan was he's crazy. A month old. Yeah, great. I love the song. I wish I could have had one more verse. I feel like one more verse would have pushed this to an 11 status. Oh. This is a 10 for me. This is an absolute 10. And look at that. Look at the... I know, 9.8, I think, because the vocals weren't up high enough for me. That's a pretty crazy... Hey, babe, thumbnail. That is absolutely the thumbnail. I really like these guys. These guys are different. You know, like, they're really, really, really different. Even aesthetically, they're different.
Oh, yeah.
And I appreciate that. That little symbol.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if they got that from... There's a movie about aliens invading. I forgot the name of it, but... I forgot the name of it. It was a very, very interesting movie. And it was about aliens. I wish I could find it. But anyway, that is basically how they...
The
aliens, we saw it together.
Yeah.
That's how the aliens communicated. So I wonder if that was... But anyway, I loved it. It's a 10 for me. I hear you about the vocal thing. Yeah, I get it.
Okay, so 9.9 for me because I wanted the vocals up a bit higher.
Yeah. And like I said, one more verse would have pushed this to a rival. Look at that. It looks exactly the same.
Pretty
you
close.
See that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Arrival. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's like almost the exact same. All right, 10 for me.
9.9.
Good fucking song, guys. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone. That's freaking ridiculous.